Alright, so brother IzzySkeemy asked for a breakdown, a review of my commander decks. I have 22 commander decks right now. Two of them I didn't really feel are mine. Two of them are Lord of the Rings precons that I have altered, but only with Lord of the Rings cards because I do not mix in-universe cards, with one exception, with Universes Beyond. The only exception I made is, you'll see it in Voja, and it's a reskin. So it's not some new Universes Beyond card. It's a in-universe Omnid card that's been reskinned, and I like the reskinned card, the art, a hell lot better than I do the original. The other 20 decks I have are decks that I have made myself. Keep in mind, my commander decks, as I said in one video, I don't play where you play. I don't build decks the way you do. What that means is I build my decks to not promote any arms races. I build my decks so they will stand their own against the lads I normally play with, but will not overrun them in order for them to decide, well, they have to pick up the pace and start pushing their decks even more, thereby triggering an arms race. As one guy put it, with Voja specifically, you're playing a $700 deck at a $70 level. Well, yes, and that is by design, and that is by intention. So let's get to Voja. Okay, Voja, he started life as Karthus Tyrant of Jund. My original idea with Karthus Tyrant of Jund is it would be elf tribal. It would be Jund elves. I would do elf rush. I would have a lot of, there's not that many of them actually, but I would have all the available, whenever a creature comes into play, draw card effects. So when I play cheap elf, comes into play, I get to draw a card. I would have a learn in there, so I would play a cheap elf for free at instant speed and draw a card and snowball from there. It didn't work. Karthus was supposed to be air support in case the elf idea didn't work, and he could do commander damage. Well, he's only one big beater. I didn't have a lot of equipment or anything to put on him because the elf idea was primary. So it didn't work. I think it worked once, and that was just in gold fishing. But in real game, it just fell flat. I would play a bunch of small elves. I would not get enough play a creature, draw a card effect to get going. I need at least two to overcome land. So you play a creature, you draw two cards. Unless you draw two, okay, two in the land. You draw two more cards. Okay, get another creature. You draw two, you get two lands. So you stall out. It stalled out a lot. It got stuck a lot. And then at the end of it, unless you have a lot of lords, you've got a bunch of weenies, so you get overrun pretty damn quickly. So that idea I took apart after a while. Then I thought of Tulane. Tulane is a bad idea. Tulane is a bad, bad man. So Tulane, I believe he's 2, and then blue, green, white. I believe he's Bant. He's either Bant or Esper. I believe Bant. Yeah, he must be Bant. He has to have green because I was going to do elves. Tulane says when you play a creature, draw a card, and you can play an additional land. Oh, so that gets me past the land bit. Oh, and he's got, when you play a creature, tacked onto him. So when I play the other effects in the deck, I already have one ready. I already have the commander ready. So the idea would be to burn through the deck with Tulane, and I can play my lands when I play a creature. Oh, buck, that's pretty goddamn cool. And just burn through, hit the coat of arms, hit Conclave Crossroads, and just swing for lethal in one go. That sounds pretty boring, doesn't it? I mean, it would be fun once, maybe twice. It'd be fun, you would do it, and then, well, that's what your deck does. That's your game. You've got one game plan. There's no real, the only mystery is how soon are you going to hit your fucking game plan? And your opponents know your game plan, so they'll gang up and stop you. So I never built Tulane, never bothered. Anyways, watching, going through the ideas, still had the elf idea in my mind, and I was watching Pleasant Kenobi. who thinks I'm a racist because I play with Invoke Prejudice in a mono blue wizard deck, and I don't care about the social I understand why people don't like the card, the art, I understand that, but I don't care. It's a great card. I mean, there's nothing else like it in the game. Your opponents have to pay double for every creature they cast, or else it's countered. Huh. That sounds like exactly what blue wants to do. So I run it in an Astrusina deck, which is a higher play environment than Prague, more combo rich environment than Prague. So I have it in a mono blue a zombie deck. Zombie Lady of Scrolls. Wizard Tribal. But because I do play it, and I don't care, he thinks I'm a racist. Anyway, let's look at Pleasant Kenobi. And he's talking about how Voja is pushed. Voja is pushed design. Well, I have to admit he's right. But Voja is pretty goddamn cool too. And I still wanted to play elves. So he says elves in the text box. And I thought, okay, he says elves. I can play with elves. This is fantastic. 2, green, red, white for a 5/5 legendary Viglet, trampling, ward 3, fucking wolf of burning fire and jaws. So when this bastard comes into play or attacks, no, when he attacks, I've been looking Grave Titan too much and Sun Titan when they come into play or attack. This is not Sun Titan, this is not Grave, this is Voja. When he attacks, but X +1 constant counters in each creature I control, where that's the number of elves I control. Draw a card for each wolf you control. The idea was, I already had all the goddamn elves, because I just torn apart an elf deck. So all I have to do is go through my collection and get some wolves, right? I think I had 8 wolves in my entire collection. 8. That's how many good wolves there are, in my opinion, in the game. And 3 of those wolves were changelings. So I only had 4 actual no-shit wolves in my entire goddamn collection. So I had to buy some wolves. Because just having 4 wolves and 3 changelings, it's not really enough. It's not impressive. Right now it's about half wolves, half elves. Let's put him there. So I just throw the lands down. Nobody cares about the lands except for Guy's Cradle. Korean Ranger, bounce a forest back to your hand and tap a creature. So that's good with the mana elves. So what this is supposed to find is, let me find it. Either Allurn, because I still play Allurn, still have Allurn. Well, I'm drawing a bunch of cards. Voja attacks, and if I've got 6 wolves, and he's a wolf, so if I have 5 other wolves, I draw 6 cards. Well, I want to play those creatures. I want to get them into play faster, and I don't want to pay for it. I'm a cheap son of a bitch. I don't want to pay for my stuff. I want to play it for free. Anyway, this is why Idyllic Tutor is in there. Titania Song. They're in the green. All non-creature artifacts shut down. They become creatures with power and toughness equal to their casting cost, and they lose all of the goddamn abilities. So all the treasure tokens die. All the clue tokens die. All the mana rocks become tutus, and will probably die in combat. So I kind of warp the deck. It's not built around Titania Song, but she definitely warps the deck because I think I have 2 artifacts that I don't care if they get shut off. I think I have a Soul Ring. Yeah, I'll just get to it and I'll explain it. So Idyllic Tutor is there mainly to find Titania Song, Eternal Witness. I like that they started printing alternate Eternal Witnesses. There are some cards that are overrepresented in my decks, Eternal Witnesses. One of them, almost all of my green decks have an Eternal Witness, and it gets kind of boring when it's the same art. Sigarda has the F&M art. Voja has this, whatever the hell, Love Your LGS, I guess, special art. And then everybody else has the 5th Dawn art. Okay, Birchland Ranger is tap 2 and tap elves you control, add 1 mana. So this is great because they don't have to be untapped. If I play a bunch of elves, say Allurn, I play 3 or 4 elves for free with Allurn, and I've got him already in play. If somebody's going to do a board wipe, I can just tap those elves for the mana I need to cast the protection spell. Hopefully I would have a protection spell. So he's pretty cool. Well-wisher. I like that art. I like the new art. The other one, it just didn't do it for me. The original Well-wisher from Onslaught. That's cool. You have my Critical Growth. Why do I have this in here? I don't think I have anything with Forest Walk. I think I just put this in here so it would fix my green. So I don't have to worry about green. Now there's some green. Wrath of God. I'll plead your creatures and player buried. Look at his ass. 3 visits. Go find a forest, put it in play. High market. Lapse is certain. So counterspell. Voja has a counterspell, which surprises a lot of people. Blaze play spell. I'm going to counter that. You're playing green, red, white. What the fuck do you mean you're going to counter that? Lapse certainty. Put it back in your hand. I'll deal with it later. Son of a bitch. Unless they have the mana to cast it again. Let's say they have 8 mana, and they go to cast Damnation. I put it back in their hand, they say, okay, I'll just pay another 4 and I'll cast it again. Well, at least they're out of mana, so they can't cast anything else. Oh, and I chose the Rebecca Gay art for Voja. Each of my commander decks have their own basic lands. What I do is, so for example, I have 13 of each of these commander basic lands. When I built Voja, I took the 13 forests, mountains, and plains out of my basic land box, so I would not put them into another deck, and set them aside in another box that I have. So Voja is the only commander I have that will have this version of forest. So it gives each of my commander decks their own identity. Visually, it's just something I like to do. This guy's cool. This is one of the wolves I actually owned. And I owned him because I like the art. He's from Portal 1, I believe. So if he's stacked and isn't blocked, I can have him skip the blocking creature and hit the player instead. So it doesn't matter if he gets blocked or not. I can still choose to hit the player. Fauna Shaman. I actually have a Survival of the Fittest. I took it out of Edric. I don't have a home for it. I could put Survival, but she's an elf. And she's a cheap elf. So she will help Voja draw cards. No, counters. Wolves are cards, elves are counters. Don't worry, I remember that when I play because I always read the damn card to make sure I get it right. Voja can have a lot of fucking triggers. For release, I can create more elves, more counters, blow up an artifact or enchantment. She's pretty cool. Draw cards for each creature. I really don't need that with Voja. If Voja is working, I really don't need her ultimate, but it's nice that it's there. Brushland, forest. Wolf here, this is another wolf that I had. Soul Bond, as long as he's paired with another creature, they both get 4/4. So he would be an 8/8. So for 5 mana, played this guy, and as long as I have another, he's an 8/8 for 5. Of course, these days, that doesn't mean anything. And who cares? 8/8 for 5. He doesn't have trample. He doesn't have first strike. He's got nothing. Yeah, but I mean, this card is 10 years old. Back in 2012, this is pretty cool, but not anymore. I guess now he'd be an uncommon. Allurin. This is still pretty goddamn cool. Anybody may play any creature with CMC 3 or less whenever the hell they feel like it. For free. So, gotta kind of keep an eye on what my opponents are doing. Usually, I have this in Edric too. So, the decks I have this in, usually I'm the one getting the most advantage out of this, but sometimes your opponents can surprise you. A sudden selfless spirit flashing in to make all their blockers indestructible can kind of put a damper on your day. Path of Ancestry. It's a command tower that comes into play tapped. Although, since I have so many wolves, I am going to get to scry a lot. The number of decks I have Path of Ancestry in, it doesn't matter. It's just a tapped, comes into play tapped command tower. That's all it is. Because I have so few creatures that are the same creature type as the commander. Yeah, grasslands. They still need to finish this fucking cycle. Wizards, you lazy bastards, get off your ass and finish the Mirage fetch land cycle. So we have the allied color pairs, make the enemy color pairs, and just put them into commander precon. Just make them for commander. Standard doesn't want them because you don't want fetching in standard. Modern, it's too goddamn slow. But commander players, I think most commander players would like to have another of these. Would like to have the enemy cycle. I know I would. Pestilent Wolf. I can give him Death Touch until the end of the turn. Arlen Cord. She's kind of a new addition. Till end of turn, one target creature gets +2/+2, Vigilance and Haste. But really, she's there to put more wolves into play. And then she transforms. Transformers. So, creatures as control get +2, +1/+1. That'd be fucking fantastic. +1/+1 and trample till end of turn. Yeah. She can deal 3 damage to a creature or player, and then she flips back over. She doesn't like doing that. Or I get an emblem with creatures control have haste, and this creature deals damage. Oh, that would be nasty. Oh, that'd be dirty if I did that. Because Voja, he's a 5/5. Put 3 or 4 counters on him. Tap, do 7 damage to a creature or player. Wow. So she's pretty cool. I haven't played Voja in a while. I should take him out. Take him out to the ball game. Defense of the Heart. Beginning grab keep. Opponent controls 3 or more creatures. Sack it. Go find 2 cool creatures. Put them into play. And laugh as you shuffle your deck. Drink your opponent's tears. Priest of Titania. She taps for green for every elf I control. Yep, and she's cool. Fetch land. Wolf, Elf, Angel, Eldrazi. He does everything, every fucking thing. And he can make my creatures become big. So I can dump a lot of mana into him, make my creatures big, and make them go smash. Forest. I haven't seen a plains or a mountain yet. This is kind of funny. Go find a forest, put in play, shuffle. Here we go. Here's some of the interesting things. So Tolsimir. When he comes to play, I get another wolf. I get another wolf, a 3/3 green and white wolf named Voja, friend elves, to go with Voja, Jaws of the Conclave. Whenever a wolf enters the battlefield under control, you gain 3 life, and the creature fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. I got tripped up by that up to 1. I didn't read the up to 1, and I didn't know. So I play a 2/2 wolf, and he has to fight something, and then either somebody pointed it out. It's more likely than me figuring out myself. Somebody pointed out that no, it's up to 1, so you can choose 0. Oh, that makes him a lot better. Let's throw him in the deck. Reconnaissance. So if I'm attacking with a bunch of creatures and shit goes south, I can pull them back. Attack with a bunch of creatures. Settle the wreckage. Fuck that, everybody comes home. I had reconnaissance. I'm removing all my attacking creatures from combat and untapping them. Settle my wreckage. Settle your bones. Mutavault. It can become an elf, it can become a wolf, it can become everything. It's everything you want it to be. Inara, Wolvid Familiar. So as long as it's my turn, my commanders are indestructible. I only have 1 commander. But she's a wolf beast. 4/4/4/4. Not too bad for an uncommon. She makes Voja indestructible, so that's pretty cool. On my turn only. Malrozumo. Vivian Reed. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. Okay, let me read these because I forget exactly why I chose her. Look top 4, review a creature or land, put in your hand, put the rest at the bottom. Okay, so this is to get me more cards. This is to... No, she's here to destroy target artifacts, enchantment, or creature with flying. That's why she's here. This other stuff, it's nice, but it's only to keep plussing her. And this emblem My creatures get +2/+2, vigilance, trample, and indestructible. That's pretty cool. But really, she's here to deal with artifacts, enchantments, and creatures flying. Because Voja, it's a ground deck. There's not a whole lot against creatures. I can do a lot of reach, but I just haven't. Silver Ranger, go find a basic land, show it off, put in your hand, shuffle, fracturing gust. So you notice I don't have a whole lot of artifacts and enchantments. So I'm really not too arsed about this. And when I do destroy all the artifacts and enchantments, I get 2 life for each one blown up this way. Soul Sculptor. Target creature becomes an enchantment and loses all abilities until player successfully casts a creature spell, or until you fucking destroy all the artifacts and enchantments. I should put a way to untap this guy. So, Voja, there's elves and wolves are roughly equally represented. I think I have 19 elves, 17 wolves. I believe that's what I have. I'm probably wrong, but that's off the top of my head what I think I have. And then I put some fun creatures that I just thought are cool that fit the deck, like Urbrass Hidden, who is overrepresented in my red decks. I have at least 4 red decks Urbrass Hidden out of 20 I built myself, because the other 2 of the 22 I don't consider have built in myself, and they cannot have Urbrask because they do not have red, and they're Lord of the Rings, and I don't think Urbrask ever went to Middle Earth. But if he did, he would give everybody that he's working with haste, and everybody he's not working with coming to play tapped. Okay, Kaplusan Forest. Sun Titan, yes, Sun Titan. Oh, he's so cool. I just like this guy. He just makes me happy. I just like saying Sun Titan. So 6/6 Vigilance comes to player attacks. Return to something with CMC 3 or less. And everybody knows what he does. I show him a lot. Fireheart Wolf. I had to order this guy special. My LGS didn't have any. So ordered 2 on Magic Card Market, so I've got an extra 1 in case I want to do this, because it's kind of neat. 3 mana for a 1/1 with Undying, so if he dies, he comes back as a 2/2. Whenever he attacks, all my creatures get menace, which is kind of neat. So, Menacing Wolf Forest. Sword Splash Harriers. Yep. Exile creature. Dude gains life. Hungry Ridge Wolf. So as long as I have another wolf or werewolf, he's a 3/2 trampler, which, since my commander's a wolf, isn't going to be that hard. Guardian. Okay, here's protection. Here's the main 2 protections I have in here. I'm thinking when I get my Teferi's protections to take this out in favor of Teferi's protection whenever it comes in. So Guardian Faith, he flashes into play, and any number of other target creatures go phase out, which is important because if I'm putting a bunch of counters on my creatures, if I'm making all this effort to attack with Voja, put +1/+1 counters on everybody, then I really don't want to lose the counters. So I don't want to exile them and return them, a la Ghostway, Semester's End, any of those other cards that I use quite often. So Guardian of Faith does the job pretty good. Although I do have a Clever Concealment. I buy listed, I traded my LGS some cards for Clever Concealment. And then I was going through, because I couldn't remember where my second one was. And then I found it. It's just sitting by itself. It's not in a deck. So I've got an undecked Clever Concealment. Yay, big collection and a few weeks of not sorted things properly because of a lack of storage space. Well, the storage space has been resolved. I can put things where I can find them again. And I can give Voja a Clever Concealment. Or, he's got Heroic Intervention. My permanents gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. Does not do anything against exile, but stops Wrath of God from ruining my day. Another 4. There it is. There is my Universes Beyond card. The only one I have in any of my Universes Within decks. Inigo Montoya. Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. He killed my father. prepared to die. Apparently, Mandy Patinkin, at least once a day, somebody says it to him. So I'm pretty sure he's fucking sick of it. So if I ever met him in real life, I would not say that. I would be one of the few dudes that would not say that to him. I would say, "So how are you doing, new Dread Pirate Roberts?" My daughter actually was asking about what happened to him. I showed her this card because it's cool. I like the art. And she asked, has he been in any other films? And I thought they could make a sequel to Pirate Bride. They were talking about remaking it, which is a pretty fucking stupid idea. But Hollywood is full of stupid ideas. But if they made a sequel and actually got a good writer, or a team of writers to do it, where Inigo is now the Dread Pirate Roberts, with Fezzik at his side. Of course, they would need somebody else because, unfortunately, Andre the Giant died. That would be pretty cool. I would watch a Dread Pirate Roberts film with Inigo Montoya as Dread Pirate Roberts. So anyway, let me get back to Magic. So he costs 5. He's originally Samut Voice of Dissent. I don't like the original art on Samut. I don't like it at all. He's got Flash. He's got Double Strike. He's got Vigilance and Haste. He gives my other creatures haste. And for 1 white, I can tap him to untap another creature. And he's got haste, so I can do it right away. He's pretty fucking cool. Yes. Inigo Montoya. Spirit of the Hunt. Flash. When he flashes into play or just comes into play, every other creature I control that's a wolf or werewolf gets +0, +3 until end of turn. All the others, not him. He doesn't help himself. He should help himself. Fires you have Maya. My head creatures have haste. I can sack this, give a creature +2. This is a card that I think it's superseded. I think it's obsolete. Nobody plays it anymore. I don't think they even put it in precons. But I do have a foil one. Original from Invasion. I've had it for a long time. At least 10 years. And I want to play it. So I'm playing it here. Seeker of Skybreak. 2/1 for 2. Tap, untap target creature. Yep. She can do stuff. Swiftfoot Boots. There's a mountain. There's one of those Rebecca Game mountains. Reliquary Tower. Because I should be drawing a lot of cards. And I'm not going to be able to cast them all because some will be land. So I need a way to not have to discard. Because I don't have a lot of recursion in this deck. It's Naya. Runebound Wolf. 2 for a 2/2. The wolf's captor had his fear, but he knew someday the runes would fail, the collar would break, and the wolf would remember his face. Oh yeah. So 3 in red, tap this bastard, and he deals damage equal to number of wolves and werewolves I control to target opponent. So if I have 10 wolves out, that's kind of a respectful, that's a threat. I'm gonna spend 4 and deal 10 to your face. Get that damage out of my face. What else? Comes into play, goes to find a forest, comes into play, and then I've got another Sportback Wolf. So almost every wolf I'm showing you now, as long as it's my turn, it's a 2/4. Otherwise, it's 2 for a 2. It's a bear. It's basically a grizzly bear. It's a grizzly bear with an additional ability. That's what it is. I'm playing with fucking grizzly bears. More or less. But almost every wolf I'm showing you. Anywhere else? Alternate art. No, Finhorn Elves. I hate the original. I do not like Justin Hampton's art. Not at all. So when they finally reprinted Finhorn Elves with the, at least it's in this Igor Kyrilik. I don't know how to pronounce this surname. But when they had a good artist do Finhorn Elves, I snapped them up in like 2 or 3. Because I don't like the Justin Hampton art. Not at all. For my stage, it's just too fucking... It's not cool goofy, it's just goofy. But that's a good Finhorn Elves. So anyway, almost all the elves I've been showing you are elves that have had to buy. Wolves. All the wolves I've been showing you are wolves that I've had to buy. But since most of them have no real financial value, it's not like it's a big sacrifice. 5 crowns each for 10 of them, even in foil. And my camera shut off. I don't know where it's talking. So let's talk about the wolves. So let's say, you know, of the dozen or so wolves that I bought, probably 10 of them were about 10 crowns each, which is about 50 US cents, 50 Euro cents. So 5 euros, that's not bad. Green Sun Zenith, this got unrestricted in modern. It got unbanned in modern. It got shoved back into modern's face. Suck it, modern. I should check the price on this and see if its value has gone. It probably hasn't. It's not like Mox Opal. I mean, it's just green. So how many decks are going to play this? You can only find a green creature. So in modern, what are you going to look for in modern? Really? And how much are you going to spend for it? So if you spend 4, you can get something 3 CMC. Right? What is really going to change? What is worth investing 4 mana in? Especially when the blue player just does, screw that, Flare of Denial. Screw that, Force of Negation. So, and then of course if it doesn't resolve, it doesn't go in your library, it goes in your graveyard, so you don't get to do it again. So I don't think this is going to be that expensive in modern. Cultivate, go find 2 lands, yep. Jilai and Halar. So there's some cards that Mitfrugschaft, one of I don't know if he subscribed or if he just saw my Voja video and liked it, but he told me about Shalai and Halar. He told me about, where's that other bastard? Little bastard, where are you? Yep, the first mono red elf we've had. He told me about Bela Beratil Entertainer. He told me about a few cards, and he was right. Mitfrugschaft. He gave me some good advice. So, Shalai and Halar, holy shit. 1 green, red, white, 3/3 flying vigilance. Whenever 1 or more +1/+1 encounters are put under creature control, they deal that much damage to target opponent. So, Voja, I attack with him. If I only have 3 elves, and I attack with those 3 elves in Voja, that's 4 creatures, okay? The 3 elves give those creatures each 3 +1/+1 counters. And there's 4 creatures attacking in this scenario that I'm illustrating for you. So that's 12 points of damage. That's an extra 12 points of damage just for the deck doing what it wants to do. Holy shit, this is good in this deck. And they really were not that expensive. So that was a good call. I'm really happy about that. Bounding Wolf, Flash Reach. Nowhere else. There's a plains. Growing, right? Voja, I took out the Guy's Cradle. Took out the Guy's Cradle and I put in Growing Rights of Idlamok, which will become Guy's Cradle pretty goddamn quickly. So, Growing Rights, 2 and a green, comes to play, looked up for cards in your library. You can show everybody creature card from those 4 and put in your hand. The rest go on the bottom in any order. Beginning of your instep, if you have 4 more creatures, flip it over into Guy's Cradle. But, even if you have no creatures, this still gives you 1 green. Guy's Cradle only gives you green if you have creatures. To be honest, I'm not sure if I shouldn't put this into the token Saskia and give Voja back the Guy's Cradle. It's kind of apples and oranges. Voja has a lot more creatures, so he's going to, looking at the top 4 cards and picking creatures is going to be a lot more important in him, a lot better with him. Saskia, the current tokens build, I think she only has 17 creatures, maybe 20. She doesn't have a lot, so I'm going to whiff a lot if I put Growing Rights into Saskia, so I'll probably just leave it as is. Just thinking out loud, basically. Wandering Wolf. Creature's power less than Wandering Wolf's power, can't block it. And he's a 2/1. But if I attack and he's in play and elves are attacking and Voja is attacking, he will get counters, so he will get bigger. And then creatures power less than his become fewer and fewer that can block him. Ghostway. So exile everything you own, all the creatures you own, and put them back into play at the end of the turn. I need to think about that. I should probably put Clever Concealment instead of Ghostway. Clever Concealment also, I don't have a lot of white creatures in here. I don't. It's mostly green-red. So Ghostway has the advantage of being only 3 mana. Clever Concealment is 4, but I can convoke. I can actually convoke for the colorless. So I would only need to spend 2 white. So yeah, I'll put in the Clever Concealment and take out the Ghostway. Nomade Shepherd. And tap 4 creatures. You can remember the Townsfolk. I remember the creature type. I can't remember his name. I know he's a Townsfolk, and I know it was at the near the very beginning of the. Maybe it wasn't near the very beginning. How far was it? There he is, Soul Sculptor. It's kind of funny that I remembered the creature type, and I forgot the name of the card. So, Soul Sculptor, 1 and a white, tap, target creature becomes enchantment, loses all abilities until somebody casts a creature spell successfully. So if you cast it, and it gets countered, basically, the new wording is until a creature comes into play. From hand. That's what that means. But then, if it's an enchantment, I can tap 4 and tap creatures I control, destroy target artifact. So, I can make some big threat in enchantment, and it just sits there. It loses everything. And then, if I've got Nomade Shepherd and 3 other creatures, I can kill it. Now, she said tap 4 untap creatures you control. If she's untapped, you can tap her. Giggity? Googity? Giggity. Yeah, you can tap her. Giggity. So, and destroy the creature. So you can take care of threats. So that's kind of a little fun combo that I think it's fun. I like it. You probably don't like it because it's 2 mana intensive. Anyway. Stomping Ground. Wirewood Lodge. I get colorless or I can spend 1 green and a tap an elf. Well Washer or Priest of Titania most likely, but yeah. Elvish Harbinger, go find an elf, put on top of the library. Shalai and Halar are an elf. I can find them with her. Silverfur Partisan. What does this guy do again? Okay, 3 for 2/2 trample. Whenever a wolf or werewolf you control becomes target of instant sorcery, I get a 2/2 green wolf creature token. So it's not going to trigger a whole lot. In Commander, at least the lands I play with, there's not a whole lot of targeted instants or sorceries on a single target. Now, wait a minute. I have a combo. Because this targets, so I can exile any number of target creatures and or planeswalkers I control, and then to begin the next end step, return to the battlefield. Each of them enters with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. If it's a creature, additional loyalty if it's planeswalker. So it would target my wolves. And then I would get the 2/2. So I have Silverfur Partisan. I Semester's End. I target all of my creatures that are not tokens. And then I get tokens. Ooh, this is more interesting than I thought. So I can use it as a combat trick. So I can block, and if they are unfavorable blocks and those creatures are going to die, before I declare blockers, or even after, depending on how I want to do it, what the situation is. So let's say I do it before I declare blockers. I don't have enough creatures to block everything. And the creatures I do have, I don't want them to die. So Silver Partisan is in play. I can Semester's End, and I can get these 2/2 wolf creature tokens that I don't care about as much as the cards that have abilities. And I can use those to execute the unfavorable blocks. And then my other creatures will come back slightly bigger. The reason I did keep Semester's End, and the reason I will keep it, is because, of course, each of them enters with an additional +1/+1 counter. And my Planeswalkers come into play with additional loyalty. So, if I have Shalai and Halar, and I exile everything, they will come back, and all those creatures will get a +1/+1 counter, whatever is exiled, and Shalai and Halar will hurt somebody. Hurt them real bad. So Semester's End it's good in this deck. It's protection, better than Ghostwave because of the counter. Of course, it costs one more, but yeah, it is what it is. Mountain, Elvish Mystic, kind of a Vista. Scroll Rack. Okay, so here is one of the artifacts I have. Yeah, I didn't hit. I think I have Boots in here. Did I show you Boots? If I showed you Boots, okay, so if Titania Song shuts off Boots, oh well, I don't care. If Titania Song shuts off Scroll Rack, that's, ooh, so, who was it? Icarus Jadiki Sidara Kondo. So, I took out Sensei's Divining Top because I wanted to put in loot. So I took out Sensei's Divining Top for loot. And the choice was between taking out Sensei's Divining Top or Sylvan Library. So I chose the top. I left the library. I can actually put the Scroll Rack, but it doesn't draw me cards. But I could put the Scroll Rack in Icarus Siddiqui, Shadar Kondo, and put the Sylvan Library into Voja. So when Titania Song comes into play, Sylvan Library doesn't care. This cares, but by the time I cast Titania Song, I'm not going to cast it just into a blind empty board. That just makes no sense. I'm going to cast it when my opponent has some interesting artifacts that I want to shut off. Because I don't want to just have it there and then them blow it up before it hurts them. Before it stops them. Before it comes up their works and puts a spanner in their cogs. So that's an idea. I could take out Sylvan Library and give it to Ikra and Sidar, and then Scroll Rack there, and then Sylvan Library and Voja. Okay, I got to think about that. Reclamation Stage, she comes play, destroys an artifact, jam it. Compo. Yeah, Soul Sculptor is going to, and nobody expects it. I guarantee that if you play Soul Sculptor, especially with new, nobody's, what the hell is that? What does it do? Oh my god, how much is it? It's like €1. What? And it does that? Holy fuck. Yep, it's not worth that much. Sacred Wolf, he's hexproof. He's a 3/1 hexproof. So he still dies to Toxic Delusion 1. He still dies to Pyroclasm. But he's a wolf. Cemetery Prowler. He's a wolf too. And he's got Vigilance. Whenever he enters the battlefield, attacks, exile a card from graveyard. Spells he casts cost 1 less to cast for each card type they share with cards exiled to Cemetery Prowler. Too bad that doesn't stack. So that'd be kind of cool if I exile 2 creatures and my creatures now cost 2 colorless less. That would be pretty damn cool. But that's not the way he works. He only counts card type. So if I exile 1 creature, that's it. All my creatures cost 1 less. If I exile an enchantment, all my enchantments cost 1. So, but he's graveyard control. Jungle Shrine. I should get the Is it Rafine's Tower? No, it would be Jetmir something. So I should get Jetmir something Triome and put it in here. Cinderglade, Forest, Elvish Archdruid, other elves you control get bigger, and or you could tap it for green for every elf you control. Beast Whisper. It's kind of weird art. It's weird with these little creatures down here, and then the big bastard in the background. It's just kind of strange, but it's cool that it's different. And it's cool that whenever I cast a creature, not resolve. Whenever I cast a creature, I draw a card. Nice. So this guy, this is the other one that Mitvrookshaft told me about. So 5 for 2/5 red elf. Mr. Red Elf goads all my opponent's creatures that are less than his power. He's not very powerful. He's only 2. But if I start giving him +1/+1 counters, yeah, whenever this goaded attacking or black creature dies, I get treasures. So, I think I've had him play once and he was fun. You have my Hollow, Temple Garden, Forest. Okay, so that's it. That's Voja. That's my presentation of Voja. Hope you liked it. IzzySkeemy, is this what you wanted to see? If it is, then the next deck I go to show everybody will be Sig, which is my Tribal Specters deck.